All right, good morning, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. SEC Insider Hit this morning is brought to you by the Rogue Men's Store. We've told you about the Wolf and Shepherd shoes and the Martin Dingman shoes. Jack Victor, beautiful sport coats. But guess what's happening starting tomorrow? Yeah, Thursday at the Rogue Men's Store. They're having a Brax event, B-R-A-X, 10% off up to 3 pair, 20% off 4 pair or more. I do own a pair. I love them. And they're awesome. All at the Rogue Men's Store. And they just got in some Ole Miss shirts that look really cool that they posted on Instagram a couple of days ago. You'll want to follow them on Instagram and Facebook. The Rogue Men's Store, you'll find them. And because they're posting all the time, all kinds of good-looking stuff. But Brax, B-R-A-X, Brax event at the Rogue Men's Store. It's right there in Jackson, Frontage Road, I-55. Also, Spring Street Cigars, full bar and lounge, 3 floors, rooftop deck. Spring Street Cigars is in the building where the Rogue Men's Store is located. But Brax event at the Rogue Men's Store, I-55 North, Jackson. It's the iconic building in Jackson. All right, beautiful, beautiful building. And the Rogue Men's Store Brax event starts tomorrow. Check it out, check it out. Good morning, welcome in. We have Cole Thompson on, SEC Unfiltered, Houston Sports Talk Radio. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Cole, we were talking about, somehow we got into Kelsey Grammer is 70 years old and he's having a kid. And then it took us to vasectomies, and then it took us to people hooking up at bars and bathrooms. Have you ever hooked up in a bathroom, in a restroom at a bar?
So it is 8:30 in the morning. How do we start a conversation off like this? What are we doing here?
Well, we just needed, the listeners need to know.
I plead the fifth, but I was in college at one point, and when you got to make it happen, you got to make it happen.
You darn right.
There.
All right, what was your favorite bar at the University of Alabama? How about that?
It depended on when you got older. See, there was a great bar there when I was a freshman. It was called Bo's, and Bo's would always have Whiskey Wednesdays. It was $1 whiskey drink, and fantastic. They ID'd you, but they were very lenient, especially if you were 19. So they made sure that you got on in. A lot of people enjoyed you. And then right when I got back home from summer vacation, because I was back home for the first year or two in summer school classes, they shut it down because of the illegal inability to not be able to get 21-year-olds to come on in there. So that was probably my favorite bar when I was in school. When I first got there, I will say, I think everyone does love when they get the opportunity to go to Innisfree. I think that everyone
I've been there.
I think everyone does love when they go to Galette's, when they go to what it used to be called was the Jupiter, and the Jupiter was awesome. Jupiter was it became Druid City Music Hall downtown next to El Rincon, which also is no longer available up there. But they would do nickel beer Wednesday, where you would show up and you would have to buy the pitcher and you get $15, and then on Wednesday it was a nickel to get a refill. And they would sell the place out because they only had 40 pitchers.
Oh,
so if you got a pitcher, you were kind of sitting there waiting and fighting someone else to go ahead and buy the pitcher off of them. That way you could go ahead and get it and get the nickel drinks. That was always a fun one. When I got really older, I really did enjoy Copper Top. I had 2 buddies that worked there, and so usually after game days, whenever I was done working, if it was a not late enough night, I would go hang out there. And then my girlfriend at the time, she worked next door at 1831. So
yeah.
I bounced around. Will Hagen's was pretty good at the time. There were a few other ones that I really did enjoy. But I've been back to Tuscaloosa since 2019. That's got to change pretty soon. Hopefully the SEC Unfiltered Tour will make a stop, and I'll be able to go there. But, I'll definitely stop on in and say hello to everybody at the other places. But I think at this point you go to the Houndstooth once you turn a certain age, and that unfortunately is I think I've crossed the threshold of being around 18-year-olds at Galette's on.
Right. Tuscaloosa Bar Insider, Cole Thompson on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Okay, so what was your favorite dive bar food in T-Town?
I always, for some reason, especially when you're a couple drinks in, stale popcorn for some reason got it going. I don't know if it was the fact that you were able to kind of, feel the munchies kind of come on, and it would be a way to kind of sober you up. But I was always a big fan of stale popcorn. Messy fries, I will say. If you ever go to the little shack that's right next to Publix, messy fries hit completely different at 1:30 in the morning when you're walking back from the bar back to your apartment. I live in Texas again, and out in Houston we don't have a Publix, so getting a pub sub was always great. But there was this one bar, and it was what was it? It was at 1831. They had these really disgusting type of nachos that were made from, I kid you not, I guarantee you that it was just Doritos covered in the cheese that you would get from like a store that you would just like shred on up. And it was like what you would make when you were a kid growing on up, and it was like a Saturday afternoon. And they were like Cool Ranch Doritos, and they were thrown on with like just regular cheddar cheese, and then they give you ranch sauce to dip it in. When you've had a few shots, that's the way to go ahead and start your evening. That's the way to kind of bring you back to reality, because you know that it's not good for you. You know it's covered in grease.
Right.
You know it's disgusting, but it's probably going to give you a little bit of life. Like the fuel of a 19-year-old is, if it's not alcohol and just sheer determination to not go home lonely, it's absolutely bar food, Rumpelman shots, and cigarettes. And I can tell you, I probably lived off of half of that stuff.
Oh, man. Did you ever party with Lane Kiffin?
Joey Freshwater was there when I was there. I remember running into him a few times, but I never personally partied with Lane Kiffin, no.
Okay, cool. Cole Thompson, SEC Unfiltered, Houston, Texas, Sports Talk Radio. So who is the best team in the SEC right now?
I think ceiling-wise, it's Alabama. Alabama's had a fight every single step of the way this season, and they've been able to respond in so many different facets. They've won multiple games in double-digit fashion. They've been able to find ways to be more dynamic when it comes to the passing attack. They're a team that is able to go make plays when it comes to their ability to run the football. I love what we've seen from their defensive side of the ball, especially in the fourth quarter. You got Ty Simpson, who he's going to have a couple of mistakes here and there, but at this point in the season, you kind of expect him to. So we're seeing more of a growth in that standpoint, I think, from his own vicinity. And then you got to throw in the fact that it's a top 5 scoring offense. It's the top 15 scoring offense, top 5 passing offense. They're defensively one of the best secondaries in the league right now. And they've also been they're the only team that has played 4 consecutive SEC ranked opponents, including multiple games on the road. They didn't have to scare against South Carolina, but again, South Carolina, homecoming, had to have a moment. They were due for a letdown spot. I think for consistency, you look at Texas A&M. Texas A&M is doing all the things that you want to see from a program. They're getting after the quarterback. Defensively, they're great up front. They're not just relying heavily on Cassius Howell to be the only pass rusher. They're finding guys with Riley Kennedy and Albert Regis. Torian York's still one of the most underrated linebackers in the country, and thankfully he's starting to get a lot more recognition, so he's kind of turned the corner in that standpoint. But offensively, Marcel Reed, when he's not throwing an interception, he is finding the end zone for 6 points, either with his arm or his legs. He was beyond impressive in Saturday's performance against LSU. The ability just to create opportunities on the ground, to be able to make defenders miss in space. And then you go downfield to his wide receivers with Mario Craver, Ashton Roman, Bethel, and Casey Concepcion. All of them are making plays in the open field, and they can run the football. It's like, Bo, they're a walking green flag, which is kind of funny because for years we would fall for the bait in like the middle of October and say, this team is built to go on a playoff run, and they would proceed to lose their next 4 out of 5 games and go 8-4 or 7-5. And now it's just like they're going to be 9-3 at worst, and they are probably not going to lose 3 of their last 4 games. They face off against Missouri, that's going to be without starting quarterback and now without their backup quarterback because he's been out since week 1. South Carolina, that may or may not even have a dog in the fight anymore simply because of where they are. Even though, when you look at the history, Crowember is really where they come to life. Then they face off against Stanford, so that means that they'll get to 9 wins, and Texas. And the Texas game on the road is interesting because it's a rivalry, but besides that, they feel like a roster that you can almost guarantee putting Sharpie in the college football playoff.
Okay, Cole Thompson. SEC Unfiltered on the Out of Bounds show. He likes Bama and he likes A&M, and I can't blame him. And then the next group is Georgia and Ole Miss? And
you got a conversation. I would actually put Georgia in its own category right now, because here's the thing with Georgia. If Georgia's offense shows on up, you can put it right alongside Alabama and Texas A&M, because offensively they are a juggernaut. I mean, Bo, I never understood the negativity from Georgia fans when it came to Gunnar Stockton. Like, the kid wanted to be a part of the program. He learned how to play in the system last year. He got thrown into the fire at the SEC championship game. He got thrown into the fire when he had to play in the college football playoff when nobody expected him to play. He comes on out. He gets a signature win early on in the season against Tennessee. And then because if he struggles against Austin Peay and Kentucky, there's people out there saying we got to turn to Ryan Puglisi. But then when you watch him play against Ole Miss, I mean, the dude has 5 incompletions and 5 total touchdowns on top of a 400-yard day. Like, he's been delivering. So from an offensive standpoint, they're right there, I think, with Texas A&M and Alabama. And, of course, the second half adjustments they gave with Kirby Smart. But defensively, it's what kind of holds them back, and that's why I put them in their own category. Right below them, I would say Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. Tennessee more so on the latter end of it, Ole Miss on the very front end of it. Ole Miss is closer to being in its own category, and Tennessee the exact same way. I just like what I've seen from Ole Miss at this point. It feels like as long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot like they did last year, they're going to be in the playoff. And as for Tennessee, this is an elimination game this weekend against Oklahoma. And the problem is that this isn't the only elimination game they face left. They still have to go to the Swamp, but they haven't won since 2002. And they also have to go face off against Vanderbilt. And that's no longer an easy game, even if it is in Rocky Top.
Wow. Okay. Cole Thompson, SEC Unfiltered. Who's going to take the Florida and LSU job?
Your guess is as good as mine, dude. I'll tell you, and this is just from speaking to people, Lane's name is going to be brought up, and if Lane wants either job, it's Lane's job to lose. Now, that does not mean that Lane is going to take the job. That does not mean that Lane is going to be the only person offered the job. But it has been abundantly clear they've done their due diligence down in Gainesville of let's go reach out to certain people. Hey, Dan Lanning, you're not interested, right? No? Okay. Hey, Marcus Freeman, you're not interested, right? No? Okay. Now we can move over to Lane. And Lane, of course, has the multiple ties because of his family's from Florida. Dad was in Tampa when he passed away. Layla, his wife, went to Florida. He fell in love with Layla in Gainesville. His first major coaching idol was Steve Spurrier. So it would make a lot of sense. And I'll be completely real. A lot of people talk about Florida being not being as good of a job as LSU. Florida can be as good of a job as LSU. I personally don't think so right now. What I do think is Florida is going to be a much easier job to start from the ground up with, because if it does feel like that they have a roster already competing for a college football playoff spot if they just have the right coach. They're great in the running back room. They're great with the wide receivers. Good depth on the defensive line. A lot of young talent coming on back in. And the people that I've spoken to down in Gainesville, there's multiple names who are not going to enter the transfer portal. Key names who are going to be a factor for their run next year that will wait until they hear who is the next head coach. So if Lane's the guy, I think a lot of those guys come back. Florida, maybe even in year one underneath Lane, is turning this into a college football playoff team. Eli Drinkers is going to be brought on up. I think Jeff Brom would be a lot of fun down there in from Louisville. All he does is win. Brett Key's another one that I think deserves a little bit of credit. John Summerall, I think, is going to get an SEC job this year. Is it going to be Auburn? Is it going to be Kentucky? Is it going to be Florida? Who's to say? But when it comes to the LSU job is the top 3 job in America. I would put it behind Alabama and Ohio State. And I would say you could, most years, maybe put it at the same vicinity as those two. Because you and I both know this, Bo. There's one thing that LSU has over everybody else. They're its own state. They don't recruit with anybody else. Everybody who wants to play at LSU from Louisiana goes to LSU. Kids do not dream of leaving to go to Texas or going to Alabama or going to Georgia. They want to play for the hometown purple and gold. And it is a rich bed of abhorrent talent in that area to where if you know how to hit the hotbeds and you continue to do what you're doing on the transfer portal side of things, Lane can have that program as a perennial contender for year in and year out. The thing is that does he want to leave Oxford? We still have to talk about that standpoint. And from what I've gathered, it's not a no. It's not he is guaranteed to leave this offseason. It's also I don't know if I'm going to be back next year. And the more wins you get, the harder it's going to be for Keith Carter to not open up the checkbook and offer him a deal that maybe has never been heard of in Mississippi football program national history. but it's one that's going to have to be made to keep Lane Kiffin happy there, I think, for the long haul. And that way the team continuously stays in the pathway of dominant and success. And a legacy for him is going to be really important because if he turns down both these jobs and he goes to the college football playoff 2 or 3 times, they'll call it Kiffin Field at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. They'll name multiple buildings after him. They'll put stop signs and bars and iconic logos of like his sayings and the team bookstore. They'll do all of that because he will become a staple of Ole Miss football history. And so that's something that he's going to look into. Now, if LSU doesn't land Lane Kiffin, Joe Brady's the first name that I've heard come on up. I think it would make a lot of sense. 2019, what he was able to accomplish with quarterback play, what he's doing right now with Josh Allen in Buffalo.
I don't think he wants to coach in college.
But I don't think he wants to coach in the SEC. I think he wants to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, you reach out to Nick Saban, you reach out to Dan Lanning, you reach out to Marcus Freeman, and they're all going to tell you no, but you got to do your due diligence if you were the governor of Louisiana. John Summerall, I think, actually would be the right fit.
Yes.
And I think John Summerall would be the perfect hire anywhere.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. The politics of Louisiana will never, ever allow LSU to humble itself enough to hire the Tulane coach. They just won't do it. It's the way Louisiana is. It's the way the politics of things go. They're never going to humble themselves and say, the Green Wave coach is better than our coach. We have to go steal him. He could be the best coach in America, and they would still find a way to say, but he coaches at Tulane. Not good enough for us. That's just the way it is. So it's unfortunate, but I don't think that he will get the job because of it. And he's going to kick ass somewhere else in the SEC, and it's really going to hurt LSU if they don't get him. But the LSU job is a really hard gauge right now. The thing is also is that nobody thought that Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly were going to get hired away from Oklahoma and Notre Dame, and they both left and they took jobs.
That's a good point.
A name that we're talking about right now maybe is not even out on our radar at this point.
That's true. That's true. Okay, and then you got John Gruden, Jimbo Fisher, and Ed Ogeron, who all won't back in. What are your thoughts there?
No, and Bulldoggers, no.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts there to all of them. I mean, listen, John Gruden, bud, and the John Gruden thing drives me crazy because here's the thing: with John Gruden, you say you want to coach. You say that you want to get back into coaching. You want to coach in the SEC. I'll tell you what, man. I want to win that Spire 2-way with man up and down the sidelines at Fayetteville. We can make it work, man. You don't want to do it in Fayetteville. You don't want to do it in Nashville. You don't want to do it in Columbia, South Carolina. You don't want to do it in Lexington, Kentucky. You want to do it at the premier schools of the SEC. Why am I going to waste that much money on a coach who has not been coaching the last 4 years? He wasn't even that great in his second return with the Las Vegas Raiders.
No.
And he's going to want to get paid because if he knows his value. So if you really want to coach and you really want to prove to me that you're just in this for coaching, take a $1 million pay because you don't need the money. Use all the money that they would give to you to go pay for your roster. Build a championship roster. Yeah, you're not going to do that. Because you know you're not going to do that. So, you're not going to do that, then why? Why? Do it at Arkansas. Prove that you can win at Arkansas, and then we can have a conversation about LSU.
I'm with you.
But I'm sorry. I'm not paying $8 million, $9 million for John Gruden, who was, in my opinion, slightly overrated in his last tenure with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, I think he was overrated his whole time in the NFL.
Had multiple miscues. Hired Mike Mayock, who was a great NFL draft analyst for NFL Network, to literally be his puppet when he was there, and then watch the team crash and burn. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, there's just no way that I'd give him an opportunity.
The Out of Bounds Show is driven by your next GMC Sierra truck from Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon, FowlerGMC.com. We're visiting with Cole Thompson, SEC Unfiltered. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. Yeah, I agree with you on Gruden, Jimbo, Ogeron. I just maybe there's a desperate Power 4 team that will take them, but not a premier job. And I guess it does depend on how desperate Arkansas and Kentucky are, right?
I mean, like if I was Arkansas or Kentucky and I heard Brian Kelly's name come on up, I'd be raising my hand and saying
James Franklin.
Same thing. They don't need the money. They don't need to worry about buyouts. I mean, if they're willing to meet us somewhat in the middle and they can then say, don't worry about paying me. Just worry about getting me a roster I can win with. If they're willing to do that, by all means, I absolutely would make that phone call to them. And I think I do think that we will see Brian Kelly and James Franklin coach next year somewhere in college football. I think that there is a job that has not opened on up yet for Brian Kelly. I think that there are multiple jobs that could be opening or are already open for James Franklin, where if they really want to get back into coaching, they will be the first phone call made. Because Brian Kelly was never a good fit, I think, at LSU for a lot of reasons. One is his attitude that he came in with, the way that he kind of downplayed the Cajun culture, the way that he kind of talked to the people down there. You know, his overall attitude towards the media, you're spoiled, like things that just rub people the wrong way. But in certain parts of the country, they will expect nothing less than a 7-5 season. He goes 9-3, 10-2. He's turned the program around to where it's time to start believing in him, and he's done that before. He did that at Grand Valley State and Cincinnati and Notre Dame and Central Michigan. So that's something to where I could see him coaching again. James Franklin's kind of the same thing. James Franklin has been probably a top 12 coach for the last 8 or 9 years. He's guaranteed to get you 9+ wins every season. If Penn State was in the 12-team playoff before this past year, they would have been in 8 other times. So he's not a bad coach. It's just go win the big one. And Penn State has massive expectations of going toward a national championship, and it felt like he had a ceiling with him. But I'd make that phone call to both of them.
Okay, fair enough. Cole Thompson, SEC Unfiltered, Houston Sports Talk Radio, joins us on the Out of Bounds show. All right, I'm going to leave with is Vanderbilt beating Texas this weekend? I got a minute.
It's a good question, man. But I'm going to be completely real. Texas, it's interesting because I don't think that Arch is going to be playing. I think Matthew Caldwell, the Detroit transfer, is going to be starting in this game. Mm. So something says that when you have a guy that is only going to be out there for one game, he has the performance of a lifetime. He has the game that we just talk about for ages on end. And I do think that Texas still has a good defensive line. Despite what we saw last week against Mississippi State, I felt more so Mississippi State lost that game, the Texas won that game. They found a way to blow it left and right. They weren't able to go ahead and figure out how to stop getting the ball over to Ryan Niblett on a punt return. I mean, like, just little things like that go a very long way. But Texas, I think, is going to make this thing close. I lean Vanderbilt to win this game. I think Vanderbilt does drop one more. I don't know where that is. I think they are going to finish the year 10-2. It makes sense that it's this game. It also makes sense on the road, Rocky Top against Tennessee for a college football playoff or for one team on the line. I can see them dropping that one.
All right. Cole Thompson, Tuscaloosa Bar Insider, SEC Insider, on the Out of Bounds show. Be good, my man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bo.
That was good. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. The show is driven by your next GMC Sierra truck or GMC Yukon, pre-owned or new. Fowler GMC. FowlerGMC.com, FOWLER. Pearl Brandon. And again, we're live in the Bank Plus studio. This is 1059 The Zone, ESPN. Luke Falk, starting QB for Mike Leach at Washington State at 9:30.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's not. WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
Is now morning.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9.
All set? Let's go.
The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Thanks for making us your sports and entertainment show of choice. We appreciate you. We love you. And thanks for listening and just having fun with us. So the show is brought to you by your next Turtle Box at Rick's Pro Truck, baby. RPT, Gluckstadt, Madison. And Rick's Pro Truck in Flowood. And RPT Commercial in Pearl. RicksProTruck.com. Trucks live here. Turtle boxes, baby. Spray-in bed liners, lift kits. And I think we're going to give away a turtle box or two here soon. I got to get with Justin, but he had texted me. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Bo Bounds, Jackson Meadows, commissioner of the Northeast Jackson Kickball League.
That's right.
Just finished year 2, and I'm impressed. You didn't get in a fight.
Nope.
And you didn't get arrested.
That's facts.
I mean, to me, I think that is beyond a major win. Other than Lane Kiffin and Keith Carter, I don't know who's on a bigger heater. Well, there's 3 people. Lane Kiffin, Keith Carter, and Brian O'Connor.
No doubt.
And then Jackson Meadows.
To be involved with those names is obviously just, it means everything to me.
Well, and I think when people think of those names, they think of you.
A Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be by the time we're done with this kickball deal.
Yeah.
It's already.
Are you going to do it again?
Oh, man.
Really?
Oh, we're in, dude. We're in. We're in for a while. Yeah, I told you, man, I got to start building that commissioner resume because when I get the call, I need to be ready.
That's a good point.
I need to be ready.
You just made a good point there.
Need to be sharp.
Right?
I mean, because I don't know.
Now, I will give you credit, and I don't like doing this, but you've taken the league to another level.
We've amped up.
Like, you have done a good job.
I have.
I mean,
I'm proud of it. I really am.
I mean,
somehow.
I've had other people say that to me.
That's crazy. I do appreciate those people. But, yeah, I mean, we've...
like, you've made it a better experience for the people who play.
That's
on the teams.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
I think we've done it. So,
and then we've got all these out-of-bounds alums in the league.
It's even better.
Or people who listen to the show.
Right.
Which is cool for me.
Pretty cool.
I value every single listener.
Same.
Every single listener.
Yeah, they rule.
But, yeah, so you have taken the Northeast Jackson Kickball League to another level.
No
I'm
question.
impressed.
I appreciate it. It's the momentum of Jackson carrying us through, man.
Well, now we have an unbelievable mayor.
Yep. Boom.
John Horn is going to lead us to amazing things.
Promised land.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So
that's honestly
we need
a big
it.
reason.
Our people deserve it.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
It's a big reason we've sank into the league and sank into the Northeast Jackson.
You should have him out next year.
Oh, man.
To do the opening night.
Ceremonial first roll.
And let him cut a ribbon.
Ooh.
And get a pic. And get 8 or 9 people and you to get a picture with
that's
him.
Done.
And somebody should make a fun sign saying, welcome, Mayor.
We can do that. We got banners on deck.
Okay.
We got a banner guy.
All right.
Got to have a banner guy.
Okay.
That is a really good idea. I think he'd go for it.
I don't think there's any question he would go for it.
Heartbeat.
He's already done more in his first few months than the last 4 mayors.
Right.
I mean, no, 8 mayors.
Maybe more, yeah.
Whatever.
Dude, he would go for it.
But Jackson's about to be, I mean, I love it already.
Same.
But it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, you can be, dude, it's, and all those people out there.
We're in the process of crushing it.
Yes.
John Horn and Locke Ward and Jackson Meadows
There we go.
are leading the way.
Well, you got to give a shout out to Jeff Good. And
Jeff Good has been amazing.
He's top notch over.
Well, that's the last time I saw Mayor Horn.
Oh,
he was eating lunch at Bravo, so he knows good food.
Yeah, clearly.
And what was so cool is when I went over to talk to him, I mean, he couldn't have been nicer.
I was going to say, what's he like? He's a good guy. I've heard nothing but good
He's a
things.
super guy.
Yeah.
But he wants to do well.
That's
everybody.
He's not in it for the money.
So and you're right. Jeff Good is like,
oh, dude,
all smiles.
I've never seen that.
That guy has
Brown?
fought and fought and fought for Jackson.
Yes, he has.
Among others, but he has.
But
he has been an unbelievable ambassador.
Incredible.
He has 3 amazing restaurants, Bravo, Broad Street, and Sal and Mookie's.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to Broad Street in a while, and it is so good.
Yep.
So underrated. And I love it. And it's like, there's like 9 things on the menu that I just would love to devour.
Right.
And
but every city needs one of those guys right there. You need a Jeff Good, you need a Locke Ward, you need a John Horn, obviously.
Locke Ward, I mean, come on.
Dude.
Clean up Jackson. I hope you'll give $5, $20, or $100 to it today. If you own a business, I hope you give a couple hundred.
He was out there on Lakeland, I think, Sunday morning.
Cleaning up?
Yeah, he refuses to post about it.
He is. It's unbelievable.
I know. I don't get it.
Locke Ward.
Too good of a guy.
The realtor.
Yeah.
The realtor, Locke Ward. Call him today. List your house or let him sell your home, whatever.
Boom.
But clean up Jackson. He just started this and then boom.
See, I'd like to know, like, I'd like to get real candid and like see, like, all right, like, what did you really think was going to happen? Like, what was the vision? It just couldn't have been this.
I don't think that you have that. When people do amazing things, I think you know what you have to do?
So genuine, yeah.
You have to start.
Yeah, that's it.
Too many people talk about doing something or want to do something.
Yep.
You have to start.
Or criticize others that are kind of.
That are in the arena.
Yeah, there's negating. But
so
that's right.
What Locke Ward did was he picked up a shovel.
Yeah, he moved his feet.
And he picked up a rake.
Yep.
And he picked up, this and that. And so that's what he did. He started.
I agree.
And then it's
caught on, man.
It's just, the city's never looked better. And a year from now, it'll look even better and just keeps going.
Yeah. I mean, he's got other people cleaning up.
And it's going to be compounding.
Yeah.
Other people are going to get involved.
They have.
And I hope that people in Madison and Rankin County who own businesses or live in this beautiful community in Rankin or Madison County, I hope that you'll give, because the stronger Jackson is, the stronger Flowood or Madison or Ridgeland or Brandon are.
Right.
So
that's 1 + 1 = 2, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And, we haven't even scratched the surface
at all
on what we can be. We have I-55 and I-20 running right through our city.
I mean,
so let's go. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cars per month.
Yes.
Millions and millions and millions over the course of a year.
Good Lord.
Let's go. So we already have great food.
Yep.
And all kinds of landmarks and amazing, spots and parks and museums and
really
so on.
do.
But we gotta go. So Horn, Jeff Good, Locke Ward,
Solid.
among others. Locke Ward's Clean Up Jackson, LaFleur's East. It's all good. Hey, the text line is 601-885-3776. If you want a place that's unbelievable to hang out with a friend or a client, Spring Street Cigars in Jackson, in the building where the Rogue Men's Store is located, is one of the prettiest cigar bars and lounges in the country. 3 floors, full bar, and then beautiful humidor. And they do have Davidoff cigars. And then a rooftop bar. Spring Street Cigars in Jackson. And right there inside the Rogue Men's Store. Luke Falk played for Mike Leach, 9:30.